said, that a man should neither be without a friend, nor again should have an excessive multitude of friends ? This assertion, therefore, will indeed appear to be very much adapted to those who regard utility in friendship. For to be alternately subservient to many persons is laborious, and life is not sufficient to them to perform this. Hence, more friends than are sufficient for the proper purposes of life are superfluous, and are impediments to a worthy life. Hence there is no need of them. And with respect to the friends that are procured for the sake of pleasure, a very few are sufficient, in the same manner as sauce to food. But whether or not ought a good man to have many worthy friends ? Or shall we say that there is a certain measure of a multitude of friends, in the same manner as there is of a city ? For a city will not consist of 10 men, nor is it any longer a city if it is composed of 100,000 men. Perhaps, however, one certain number of citizens cannot be assigned, but every number may be admitted, which is between certain definite terms. Of friends, therefore, there is also a certain definite multitude, and perhaps those persons are not numerous with whom it is possible for a man to live. For this appears to be a thing of a most friendly nature. But that it is not possible for a man to live with many, and distribute himself among them, is not immanifest. Farther still, it is necessary, if the friends are numerous, that they should be friends to each other, if all of them intend to pass the time with each other. But this among many friends is laborious. It is likewise difficult to rejoice and grieve appropriately together with many persons. For it is probable that it may at one and the same time happen, that a man ought to rejoice together with one person, and grieve together with another. Perhaps, therefore, it is well not to endeavour to have a great number of friends, but as many as are sufficient for the purposes of social life. For it would seem that it is not possible to be very much a friend to many persons. Hence, neither is it possible to love many ; for love is a certain excess of friendship. But this is confined to one person, and therefore vehement love must be confined to a few. That this, indeed, is the case seems to be verified by themselves. For there are not many friends according to that friendship which subsists among associates. But the friendships which are celebrated are said to have subsisted between two persons. Those, however, who are the friends of many persons, and are familiarly conversant with all of them, appear to be the friends of no one, except politically, and these persons are also called obsequious. It is possible, therefore, to be politically a friend to many persons, though he who is so should happen not to be obsequious, but a truly worthy man. But it is not possible to be a friend to many, on account of virtue, and for their own sake. But we must be satisfied, if we can find a few such, i.e. who are true friends. CHAPTER XI. But whether is there more need of friends in prosperity or in adversity ? For in both they are sought after. For those who are in adversity require assistance, and those who are in prosperity are in want of associates, and those whom they may benefit, since they wish to confer favours on others. In adversity, therefore, friends are more necessary ; on which account, when this is the case, there is need of useful friends. In prosperity, however, friends are a more worthy and beautiful possession ; on which account, also, men whose circumstances are prosperous search for worthy friends, for it is more eligible to benefit these, and with these to pass through life. For the presence itself of friends is delightful both in prosperity and adversity, since the grief of those who are in affliction is lightened when their friends participate of their sorrow. Hence, likewise, it may be doubted whether friends share a part of the affliction of their friends, as if it were part of a burden. Or is this not the case, but the presence of friends being delightful, the conception that they participate of the sorrow produces a diminution of the grief ? Whether, therefore, those who are in affliction are alleviated through these causes, or through some other cause, we shall omit to investigate. What we have mentioned, however, appears to happen. But the presence of friends appears to be something mixed. For the sight itself of friends is delectable, and especially to those in adverse circumstances, and it becomes a certain auxiliary against affliction. For a friend possesses a consoling power, both in his presence and his words, if he is dexterous, since he knows the manners of his friend, and with what he is pleased and pained. It is painful, however, to perceive that our friend is afflicted by our misfortunes. For every one avoids being the cause of pain to his friends. Hence those who are of a virile nature are careful to prevent their friends from being afflicted in conjunction with themselves, unless they perceive that by subjecting their friends to a little pain, they shall themselves experience an alleviation of great affliction. And, in short, they do not permit others to lament with them, because they are not themselves addicted to lamentation. But women, who are weaker than the rest of their sex, and men who resemble them, are delighted with those who groan with them, and love them as their friends, and the associates of their sorrow. In all things, however, it is necessary to imitate the better character. But the presence of friends in prosperity is attended with a pleasing association, and with the conception that they are delighted with our good fortune. Hence it would seem to be necessary that in prosperity we should readily and cheerfully invite our friends to partake of our good fortune, for it is beautiful to be beneficent, but that we should be remiss in inviting them to partake of our ill fortune. For it is requisite to impart to our friends as little as possible of evils, whence it is said, That I am wretched is sufficient." But friends are then especially to be called upon, when having received small molestations, we can be greatly benefited by their presence. On the contrary, it is perhaps proper to go to those who are in adversity uncalled and cheerfully. For it is the province of a friend to benefit, and especially to benefit those who are in want, and who do not think fit to solicit relief; for this is better and more delectable to both. With fortunate friends, however, we should cheerfully co^operate, for in prosperity also there is need of a friend. But we should slowly betake ourselves to a friend, in order to be benefited by him. For it is not beautiful to be readily and cheerfully disposed to be benefited. It is, perhaps, however, requisite to be cautious that we do not conduct ourselves unpleasantly in rejecting the beneficence of our friends ; for this sometimes happens to be eligible in all things. CHAPTER XII. Whether therefore as to lovers, the sight of the beloved object is most delectable, and they prefer this sense to the rest, because love especially subsists, and is produced from this. Thus also it is most eligible to friends to live together. For friendship is communion. And in the same manner as a man is affected towards himself, he is also affected towards his friend. But it is eligible to every one to perceive with respect to himself that he exists and lives ; and therefore this is also eligible with respect to a friend. This energy, however, is effected among friends by living together, so that this is reasonably desired by them, and that in which to every one his very being consists, or for the sake of which he chooses to live, in this he wishes to pass his life with his friends. Hence some friends indeed drink together, others play at dice together, others engage in gymnastic exercises and hunt together, or philosophize together, but they severally pass their time together, in that to which of all things in life they are most attached. For wishing to live with their friends, they do these things, and communicate with them in these, through which they are of opinion they associate together. The friendship, therefore, of bad men is depraved ; for being unstable, they communicate with each other in bad things, and they become depraved, being assimilated to each other. But the friendship of worthy men is worthy, and is mutually increased by mutual converse. They also appear to become better by energizing with and correcting each other ; for they mutually express those things with which they are delighted, whence it is said, From good men what is good is learnt." And thus much concerning friendship. It remains to discuss, in the next place, pleasure. End of Book 9. Recording in memory of Mitchell Edwards.